Hello and welcome back to Heart of the Swarm. This is the third mission, Rendezvous, also known as Rendezvous if you can't pronounce the French language, which I cannot. That loading screen was faster than we could ever hoped for, so here we go.
Dominion forces and a Zerg hive cluster.
Yeah, there must be an old hive here. I'm more worried about the Dominion.
Ground team, this is Fleet. What is your status?
Fleet, our base is set up and the Dragon Pulse Cannon is almost online.
Roger that. Eliminate all stragglers as they warp to these coordinates. We'll return for you. Fleet out.
That cannon will take out Jim's ship as soon as he enters orbit. He'll never see it coming. Set course for the Zerg hive cluster. I need an army. I can sense a mind controlling this brood. Who are you?
My queen, I am Naktul, a brood mother. You created us to extend your control of the swarm. Have you returned to us?
I'm not your queen and I haven't returned. But I need your brood to destroy the Terran cannon right now.
Most of my brood is with me. I can send them to you, but it will take time.
Then send them. When they arrive, we'll tear down that cannon before Jim gets here. Meanwhile, I'm going to prepare this hive for combat. The Dominion would have tracked my ship and they'll be looking for me.
Okay, here we are. The mission commences. Now this is a simple defense mission.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's see if I can remember how to do this. The first thing I need is a spawning pool.
It's true, the first thing we need is a spawning pool. So yes, this is a simple defense mission where you have to hold out for 15 minutes against the Terran forces before Brood Mother Zagara, I think it was. No, not Zagara. Naktul. I think Brood Mother Naktul, or something of that nature, is going to send us some lovely reinforcements, and we just have to survive. Now, H, my friend, who I asked to watch this. If you're still watching this all the way to the third mission, I thank you. And I want you to look at the difference between this campaign and StarCraft 1, because I wasn't lying when I said that this campaign is far more action-packed. Far more action-packed, because
they're going to hit us hard.
if you remember the third mission of StarCraft 1, you were on Marsara, I believe, and you were holding out against Zerg for half an hour, and nothing happened for half an hour. You built fences, occasionally a few Zerglings would come at you. It was incredibly dull. But this, you know, this ramps it up. There is action, there are things to do.
I should make Zerglings from the larva at my hatchery.
Not just defending against this, but we also have to... Well, there'll be some bonus objectives that come up, and we're going to have some fun with those. Now, Kerrigan has said, Sarrigan, she has said that we need to make Zerglings. I'm going to completely ignore that and just make brood queens instead. Swarm queens, even.
They will rejoin us if we can kill the Terran soldiers guarding the cave entrances.
So there you go. We have to kill some Terran and save some brood. But we're not going to do that just yet. We need to build up some Swarm Queens, and the reason I'm going for Swarm Queens over Zerglings is that Zerglings just melt in this mission, literally, as most of the Terran use fire-based weapons that just completely destroy Zerglings. And maybe with Amazing Micro you can get those Zerglings to do some work for you, but I find it's easier just to use Swarm Queens, really. Swarm Queens get it done, they're durable, they can heal each other, and they deal decent damage as well when you upgrade them. Now, Swarm Queens, they're a single-player only unit. In the multiplayer, it's just queens, and they're not typically used to attack. The way queens work in multiplayer is that they can hatch... They have energy, up to a potential of 200 energy even. And for 25 energy, they can blob out a creep tumor, like you see in the corner there, that spreads the creep. For 25 energy, they can hatch larvae on your hatcheries, which allow you to make more things, and they can also use transfuse to heal a unit. Swarm Queens in the single player work differently. They can lay creep tumors on a cooldown, not requiring energy, and they sort of automatically give each other a little heal for a small amount of energy. So the energy building up, when they've got energy to spare, they'll see it's doing it to that tumor there, just bomb, a little heal. Not a big heal, just a little one, and that's how Swarm Queens work. Now, if you're wondering, well, how do you get more stuff in the single player, you don't have to worry about hatching lava in the single player because loads of lava just spawns at your hatcheries really quickly anyway, up to a maximum of I think it's 7, and it comes way more often than the lava in multiplayer does. In a way,
There are more zerglings in this cave, my queen.
yes, I should get on with that bonus objective, but in a way it's sort of annoying that they changed the queen so much, because single player, you know, that's where a lot of people practice for multiplayer, so the fact that the queens work differently sort of
Dominion approaching from the north.
sets you up for a fall, really. But in another way, Swarm Queens are cool. It's good to just get along with your single player and know that you have loads of lava to choose from. It's just all good. Now I'm going to make a second hatchery so I can make twice as many Swarm Queens. You see, the tactics, they're coming. Just going to let the Terran wreck whatever they're wrecking for now, and you see they were transforming there. What you've got there, when they're in car form, they are Hellions. When they transform, they are Hell Bats. In car form, they deal a lot of damage to things like Zerglings and other unarmored units, and they're very fast. When they're in Hellbat form, their flame works differently. It's not a gout, it's a sort of short-range spray. It deals a lot more damage to armoured units and buildings, so in that sense it's deadly. And they have a lot more health as well, but they move a lot slower, so it's sort of a trade-off. Though, currently I am being quite annoyed by Hellbats in the multiplayer, because my wisdom, and bear in mind I'm only a Gold League scrub, I don't know the meta that well, I should learn it better, but my wisdom is that when the Terran come at you with Hellions, you make roaches, because roaches are armoured, the Hellions barely graze them, you have a good time. But nowadays, the Hellions just sort of transform into Hellbats and roast your roaches, and that's not good for me, that doesn't work for me. So, I think, yeah, I got the attack upgrade for the Queens, so my Queens are strong. They're going to deal a good amount of damage. Now I'm just sort of trying to save up gas for the Carapace, which will make them more durable. It's going to be quite a lot of gas. There is only one gas geyser in this entire level, so our gas is slow going. You'll notice I'm piling a lot of minerals, because I'm getting minerals at a much faster rate than gas. I suppose if you want to, you can make Zerglings with those minerals, because there's really no reason not to. But for me, Zerglings just felt utterly useless and a complete waste of money, so I didn't bother. I suppose if I was intelligent, what I would have done then was make drones and just really beef up my spine spore crawler walls rather than just have the 3. But I'm not intelligent, I only think of these things after the fact. So, you know, it's okay. We make it through the mission, spoilers, we make it through the mission just fine without it. But yes, if you are going to do this mission, I would heartily recommend, heartily, not hardly, pronunciation is important here, I would heartily recommend making a bigger spine wall. Now, if you're going for the Super Hardballs achievement at the end that isn't shown at the end here, what the Super Hardballs achievement is to destroy every Terran building before Naktul sends reinforcements. That's quite difficult. The way I solved that is, again, just by massing Swarm Queens. You just have to be a lot more aggressive a lot earlier than I am being. I'm being very conservative because I just want to win, I want to get through the story. But if you're trying to do this achievement, what I would recommend is that you use Swarm Queens and just push out early. I suppose with your additional lava and stuff you can make a sort of Zergling wall to help your Storm Queens out initially, but in the end you will just sort of end up with an all Swarm Queen army, and that should get you destroying all the buildings before you're done if you're nice and quick with your macro and aggressive early on. And as you can see, they've burst through my spine wall, that's why making a lot more would have been useful, but again, I'm being conservative. I'm not bothering with the bonus option yet. You don't have to do the bonus before the reinforcements arrive. I believe you do have to do the bonus before the reinforcements arrive for an achievement, but that achievement is, you can do that on normal mode where there's much less pressure, so that's where I would recommend doing it, unless you want to prove that you're the best there ever was, in which case, that's fine.
Say again?
I just want to get through this with no fuss. So the Terrans trying to stand up to Kerrigan, but they can't, especially not when she has a billion queens at her back. As you can see, I just used Kinetic Blast to completely destroy that tank instantly, and that's very useful. Okay, in the campaign, There are many tanks that will mess up your army. Kerrigan is the key to getting rid of that. At least in the early game. Once you get later on in the story and you have access to more stuff, you won't need Kerrigan to destroy the tanks because your army can do that on its own because it'll be very strong.
The worms are tunneling to you right now. My brood will be there soon.
3 minutes to be exact, so we're going to start saving the Zerg because I think we can get away with it. They're only being attacked by 2 things, but you know, better safe than sorry. There's more queens on the way to me.
Safety's off.
I have, by the way, I've rallied all of the queens coming out of the hatcheries to follow Kaera Serrigan. If you don't rally them like that, they will just sort of wait around outside their hatchery until you do something with them. So if you just want a nice steady stream of incoming queens, then that's what you need to do. Of course, that can backfire if you rally them through somewhere dangerous, as I do in the mission after this, but it's all good most of the time. So the queens are on their way. I am going to start hammering at this door here because I can. Kinetic Blast doing most of the work for us, but not quite all of it. As you can see, that Hellbat is just too strong. But we dealt with it because we have 1,000,000 queens. That is probably going to rip down a spine wall. Yep, easily. So I need to return. That is a shame. But if anything, it does show that you can mess up. Even on Brutal, a little bit, you can leave your base underdefended and still salvage it just fine. It's no problem. No problem at all. Now, I can't remember, do I just send the Conservative 3 drones to back it up, or do I realise that I can just make 1,000,000,000? Let's find out. Oh, gotta spread that creep, very important. It's a good habit to get into, in fact. In multiplayer, spreading creep is invaluable, because your Zerg units are much faster while they're on creep, which is always, pardon me, always helpful. And of course you can see on the creep. Yeah, I only sent 3, I can send, there's nothing stopping me from sending loads more, except myself. That's just the way it is. But yes, in multiplayer, creep lets your units go faster, and you can see on creep, so it's good for gaining map awareness. And now it's time for Naktul. Oh dear, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Those tanks are going to get me, but Naktul is going to get them. Here are her worms. Just chilling out.
They are yours to command, my queen.
Perfect. Now let's get up to their base and destroy that cannon before Jim arrives.
Our mission is laid out before us, and Naktul has sent us 1,000,000,000 resources to do so with. So those Terrans, they're going to get crushing gripped into oblivion. As you can see, because the queens are so big, most of them can't actually join in that fight, which can be an issue. But as you can see, it was not a big issue because we still won. So I'm trying to gather up all the army. I could just press F2 to summon the entire army onto one hotkey, but that's single player only, that's not multiplayer, therefore it is not in my habit to do that. But as you can see, many Swarm Queens, many Zerglings. It is possible to fail this last stretch if you didn't save up enough stuff during your initial thing, so that is why I was being conservative, because this is indeed my second attempt. Second attempt at this mission, because the first time I had no stuff. I had no stuff and no real money to get more stuff. It just wasn't going to happen, which is sad. That first attempt I was putting in a lot of Zerglings, and that's why I decided it was better just not to bother with Zerglings. I'm coming over here because I need to do the bonus objective, because for every bonus objective you do, Kerrigan gets more levels you can spend on making her stronger. So it is worth your while to do the bonus objectives to get a stronger Kerrigan, which is incredibly useful in the later game. But I don't want to go in there any longer than I have to, because there's no need to destroy the buildings, unless you're going for that achievement to destroy them before 15 minutes, but if you're not, there is no need. As far as I know, it doesn't make the enemy any stronger or weaker to have or not have those buildings. They just have the units they have. I don't know if they make more. They certainly don't make an effort to macro, so it's fine. You just go in there and have some fun. Now here is the final countdown. As you can see, there are siege tanks with a crushing grip that... No. Kinetic blast that straight away. Sort of going to try and burst through as best we can. I'm doing a bad job of that, in fact. Most of the queens are stuck behind. Kerrigan's dead. I really should have... see, I like to attack move. I've got it ingrained in me that it's bad to move command, because then your units are moving and not attacking, and that's bad. But of course, if most of your units are blocked out of the fight, then yes, go ahead and move command, obviously. Now, when Kerrigan dies, she does not actually die. She just turns into a chrysalis for a minute, and then returns at your hatchery, so don't worry about losing her. Anyway, that is the mission done. Bada bing, bada boom. Enjoy the resulting cutscenes, have some fun. That is not what my army was, but we'll let you get away with that cutscene.
Kill them all. No one gets out alive.
Yes, the Queen has returned. Kill the Terrans.
The Queen? You're right. I was slipping back into something that... I have to get out of here.
We will await your return.
Lovely stuff. We did that pretty smoothly, pretty swiftly. We had some good fun. There are the achievements that aren't the super hard achievement I've mentioned, so feel free to do that if you want to. Thank you for watching. I will see you for the next mission. Oh, yet again, I forgot about the loading screen. This happened to me last time. I must remember that the loading screens are here and not round off so quickly, because now there's just awkward talking. Bye.
Jim? Are you on this frequency? Jim, are you out there? I'm at the rendezvous. It's all clear here. I've been thinking about what you said. There's something dark in me, Jim. I need you. I need you to hear me right now.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this news. Notorious rebel Jim Raynor was captured in a daring raid yesterday. He was briefly interrogated and summarily executed. Emperor Mengsk had this to say.
Proud Dominion citizens, at long last our nightmare is over. The lawless terrorist, James Raynor, is dead. With his death comes a new era of peace. The Protoss have retreated from our dominion, and the Zerg threat has been removed. Their swarm is shattered and leaderless. Soon, we will eradicate every last Zerg on Char. In short, we have won. Our peace and security is assured. Good night, my faithful subjects.
Mengsk.
Navigation online. Destination Zerg space. Confirm.
Confirmed.